Every year in the Cape Flats, hundreds of young people are released on parole into poor communities, ravaged by drugs, gangs, and crime. Most will return to prison within months. But in Langa Township, Solomon Madikane offers these young people a chance to turn their lives around.
Who's a win? Yo, I'm not a winner, eh? Lulu is a winner. Yep, Lulu is a win. They must be a winner now as well. Bring the soda. Go put it in the sink. Go put it in the sink.
What worries me the most now is young people are just dropping out of school. Some of them, they've passed matric. Once they've passed matric, there is no direction where they should go after they've passed their matric. I was born in Queenstown, but I grew up in Cape Town, Kwalanga. Yeah, today's challenges are different than what we had. In our times, the competition was within sport, you know, and then also clothes as well. That was the big competition. But you had to work for all those things, you know, as I was raised up by my aunt and my uncle. Growing up in a family whereby no one was drinking, no one was smoking, you know, that's the way that I was raised up. I think that also had an impact in my life. When I was in Standard 5, immediately after school on Fridays, I'll go to work and work from Friday till Sunday.
Solomon started his working life as a warder at Cape Town's notorious Pollsmoor prison, where he saw firsthand how badly the prison system deals with its inmates.
My life started to change, you know, where I've started to understand really what is happening behind the bars. What are the guys really going through? That's where I started to get more attached to the inmate. They don't see the uniform. They see Dixie that they know. They know behind this uniform there's a man that cares about them.
In 2004, frustrated at the failings of the system, Solomon left his prison job to set up Realistic, a groundbreaking program reintegrating parolees back into daily life.
The major thing that made me to start Realistic was the challenge that I saw when I was within correctional services, seeing same young people keep on coming back into prison, committing the same crime, and then within 6 months, they back into prison again. Realistic takes about 35 to 40 young people per intake. So which means per year at the Realistic, you're looking at 140 young people. Then that shows you that there's a lot of young people that I need.
Realistic pushes parolees to change their thinking completely. This boxing class teaches how to build up focus and discipline.
To box with one another, you need to have respect for one another. You need to have discipline. You need to be able to fight not out of anger, but fight out of a sportive motivation. And you show clearly that you don't have any self-discipline. Because when I say 3, 2, 1, it stays quiet for about the same time, 3, 2, 1, and then you're loud again.
Parolees are called realists, and the program pushes many of them to their limits. For Solomon, running Realistic allows him to offer help in any way that wasn't possible as a prison warder.
When I started up Realistic, I was knowing that now there's going to be no boundaries. If I want to visit an inmate at his house at 12 o'clock in the evening, I'll go in there and knock and talk to the parents. When I want to go in there at 7 o'clock in the morning, there's no starting time at Realistic. That's what I like.
uthi uvuka nje tata ungathi uvula igeti sobethwa ngapha esitini sele siwelekile nabe ndinayo lo mbono ndinombono xa ndivuka apha ndibone idundulo zapha egeyithini ndingayazi noba ivelaphi ke loo nto la ndizoyazi qha ndizobe ndithatha umntu wam ngelo xesha
kuba uyazi ke ndaba se-realistic ayipheli naloo ngxaki ba uyagqiba ugraduata ibe yi-after care ibe yi-follow up endaphe kude kube njalo kube right but ke ndiyavuya ke rhadebe xa ubujikele ngohlobo sinqokole ngalo nomama then I'm happy ke ma ndizaphinda ndizinike ichance kwakhona sijikele but before sihambe ngoDisemba ubheke ekhempini kunye nabo I'll make a 10 sihlale phansi sibone basenza kanjani. Ma nisuka ndawoni ngoku?
Sisuka ekhoti ebhukule enyanga yokuphina
ePhilip Court ne? So nithunyelwe ngubani phaya?
Sithunyelwe nguMr Mnguni umthuthisi le ngxaki yokuba lo mfana efuna i-rehab.
Yeah, like yajija so like ngifuna like uyeka man yabo. Yeah. Like izolo linye.
Before udibana noSisi Melisa ulanto ka-social worker uyaminda if ulanto ukuthi apherisa ngazama uchecka nje ukuthi ingakanani usegazini kubo?
No, I don't mind.
Ungakuchecka ne?
Yeah.
Sibone ukwenzeka ntoni. The case of the drugs, it's quite serious in the Cape Flats. You buy a drug as cheap as 20 rand, even 10 rand when you're buying the crumbs, you know. You don't have to walk a long distance to go and get drugs, you know. You just cross the street. People that are selling drugs, it's like fruit and veg. Everybody knows that this person is selling drugs. And then community does nothing about those people.
Xa ndingenayo ke ndicinga ezinye izinto ezi-wrong uba mandikwazi mandifumane imali yabo so azizonisa ndawo zazinto so life yam masihambe nje ngendlela right.
An important part of realistic is building trust and respect. Realists write and talk about their lives, but they have to accept responsibility for their crimes.
There are many people who can put the blame on me. First is my baby. Because if I didn't drink alcohol when I was pregnant, I blame myself that I get infected and living with medication for the rest of my life. And for everything that I caused between me and my mother, it's my fault. My baby can put the blame on me because of her death, and I was scared of my parents.
The devil was controlling my life, but today I ask for forgiveness. You can forget about my past lifetime as the problem child. I'm sorry that I take your son's life. I know it's hard to forgive, but I mean it with my heart. I want to stop crying. Okay.
Now, these young people, when they share those things, you can relate to those stories because it's not something that you are reading from the book. It's something that has practically happened to you.
Tabo's drug results are back. How he reacts to these will indicate whether he wants to try and turn his life around.
Stripe, line E1 ibomvu ne positive law. Kanti ubani uyazibona lines zimile zambini imisho uthini negative. Kamandi ke wena ngingathi ngisebenza nomuntu onenyani ndikufunde kulonto uyaqonda anisokolanga uyenza lento. Uyaqonda ubunyani bakho ke buvunywa insango positive nanke yalamca uyi1 benithetha ngawo
ndisendiyibona yonke le
so uyibona yonke and then
positive
so uyakwazi uziridela ngedela yeah nangu
positive
yeah Monday to Friday even na weekends zakunika i-L card ne L card weekends if anything eyakuchallenge during the weekend phakamise nje ifone okanye wenza ucall back mna ndithethe nawe if iyakuchallenge into ne so ubamba isandla sami sine deal ne
deal. Some of the parolees Solomon works with are boys who are barely in their teens, like Tando Jansen.
Yeah, that's my boss, man. I'm 20, yeah, I'm 28. I'm 26.
But when I don't know yes young alone, was in only 26.
I didn't know. Sending Gelango and 26, 28. I think that's Bam. I wouldn't have
Jane. In don't know when I yes young Alanda. Was in doing guy.
No. I didn't. In number of in night and now I'm on the here saying one. But I never know the number. And I'm very most. There's wrong and more.
But if you want to get shady pants, take the Ubonise, Ubungo bayo. What church I more to town who knew a papism? I am on a chomiak. You know what makes me worried about this young man? He is only 13 years of age. He's been to Stellenbosch, where they keep young people that have been in conflict with the law, that are not listening, you know, more like a juveniles. When I had a chat with him, you know, starting to get close to him, what surprises me, he hasn't been up into Paulsmoor, but already the excitement that he's having, he's known into Paulsmoor just because the friends are serving time in Paulsmoor.
In a community deeply marred by gang violence, Realistic teaches simple strategies for keeping out of trouble.
And I'm not joking, group. I'm not playing. Shola, can you please stand up there? And put on your cap.
Your cap?
Turn over. Yeah, okay. No matter. Like group, we are Sambona, Musne. And then, how can you describe that person?
When I look at him, I can say like it's a criminal. He was like a criminal in school.
Yeah, man, it's not something that we discriminate. We correct you,
And me also, I think I was told to alter. Yeah, by the time you arrived here at school, it was 8 o'clock in the morning, you see. The taxi was passing, see. I don't know sure what he was doing, you see. He was, hey, taxi driver, no. And I told him, sure, no, must change his attitude, man. And the way he dressed, man. Yeah.
Go play.
Tando has just started coming to Realistic, and Solomon is very aware of how difficult it is for young boys like him to keep within the law.
Now, if you lose a young boy like that into your system, I feel that I haven't done any work. So one needs to have a very close relationship with him and see what can you do with him, you know? How can you assist him in terms of growth and all that? You know, Utando reminds me of my earlier days as well. But what is the difference between myself and him? At least there is that kind of a stability whereby there is a father. But even while the father is there, my worry about the young man, the way that he's utilizing drugs and all that, he's up into a big danger that he can start now to commit a number of crimes, and then he can end up becoming a jailbird.
Ngaqala kancane ukwenza izinto manje bakhona engabikho so end up esikoleni bemiyekisa esikoleni yebo according uba khona ba on and off esikoleni 2 weeks up iveke esithathu enesamene njalo waphunca lahle so namkhangela till ke zenzo fumanza ndive kuthiwa no kufika amapolisa bathi no lo mntana ubanje baphule ifistile yemoto yabo nale friend yakhe behamba nayo so befuna ukuthatha i-laptop bafunyanwa na laptop but babe beboniwe ngabo babepha so i-cameras sibabonile ngabo abantu besophula la festival so ke ngokwabo kuyabanjwa lo hlobo but uba umbuzo ba yintoni ingxaka ngaphandle so siyazi ithoni kwathi ma friend yakhe ethile athi mabahamba and i-friends zakhe zindala.
The biggest challenge for realists is that they remain living in the community with the temptations of drugs and crime that got them into trouble in the first place.
Yeah, ndaza apha kwathiwa like say rehab apha Realistic
ke yakho serehab apha butini like irehab uyahlala phaa yabo ngoba apho uzophuma uphuma kwesikolo ngofo uyagoduka yabo uphindele phaa kwi-civilization ekasi yabo phinde udibane nazo iloli phaa kodwa ukuthi serehab yabo so like uzijonga ngokwakho apha yabo uba wena ufuna utshintsha okanye ufuna uthini yabo.
And Tando now seems to understand that it's up to him to make a lasting change.
Wena abanye abantu benza benamandla bakuncedisa phumelele into ozenzayo life inotshintshe man bamfundise into eninzi ngotshintsha elifini ba bewawutshintsha elifini bet tata maben mandiyeke nisenzayo yabo khangikwazi uziyeka ngantoni drugs ngaphandle yabo esindithutha mandiye yabo ish ndizenza into ezirongo ngaphandle yabo. Angayibeka njalo.
Realistic's Parole program is not easy for Solomon or the realists, but it works. Several hundred people have passed through Realistic in the past 8 years. Less than 10 are now behind bars. Usually, 70% of parolees return to jail.
The achievements that Realistic has, hey, it's unbelievable. When I look at the young people that have been the part of the program, when I look at them and see the change, you know, there are times that you just feel, you just want to cry. You can't stop yourself. You can't control your feelings. You look at this young person that everybody has given up hope and saying, you know, this is not a human being. And then you look at the effort that you put into this guy and the commitment that he shows you, that he wants to make change. And then from there, you work with him, walk the journey with him, you know, being real, telling the real things. Then you can see when he grows within the space, you know, and then you can see this person really wants to make a change. I always say to the staff here, there is no one who's a founder and a director in what here. This is a flat structure. We're working together.
No, ndifunayo ndifuna uqhubekeka like nobomi bam like ndibuyele technical yabo ndenze civil engineering yabo ndifunde ndibe grand and then ndiphangele yabo light yami ikhule grand yabo ino time osipanayo.
The highlight of each 6-month Realistic course is the mountain camp. For most in the group, this is their first trip up Table Mountain, even though they have lived in its shadow all of their lives.
Akushiyana ke akho umuntu fit kunomnyama sikulevel a1 song. We're just gonna walk and then from there break in between a little bit and then we walk when you level, you know? Mangaqamba last one. Mayo. Ngawuqambe. Qamba mayon. On that time, it's a time that now you start to really to understand who they are, where they're coming from. They'll tell you different stories about their lives, you know. Once they do that, now you're no longer working with the person just from the head. Now you can combine the feelings of the human being and then also looking at the mindset. Now on that 21 days, it helps you to dig deeper more and understand their kind of anger that they're having. What has really made them to go and join the gangs? Do they really want to walk away from the gang? Or do they want to use the gang as the part of the benefit while they're in a program? So that's what Realistic tries and do. Get those people that are having those different experiences and become the part of the family. Xa uhleli nefamily yakho, umama wakho nomntana wakho, yintoni ekubhorayo kuloo nto leyo?
Like ingasifumana space sam like napha ekhaya like ubone ngakusobe like ubone ne-old lady banento ezithethayo uba loo ndlini like ubone ya nezo zinto like andiphangeli like ubone yanditya nam ezo zinto.
Okay, awudikwa kuhlala naye kakhulu kuba uthanda, udikwa because you are avoiding i-remarks zento kubana ngoku ndondla wena nomntana wakho ne-girlfriend yakho. Then ke ngoku we understand ukuthi uThipos, it's not that akayithanda ifamily yakhe. Now ngoku avoida kwakho ukuthetha ulimitha uthando lwakhe analo within abantu abaclose kuye. When you came to Realistic, wathiwa now bayakwamkela ozikhali ngokusesikweni. How was the welcoming?
Ibi perfect man, uziqonde ibingaske ingase ndithatha impahla zami zonke pha ekhaya ndehlala pha eRealistic. Because ndikwazile like uzicontrola kwinto ezininzi yabo. Ndafumana like nendlela yothini yosupportwa like abantu like nehlobo bathetha nga umuntu ngenye ixesha akwazi ba alile kuba ubone inyembezi zakhe. Uyakwazi ulila ngothetha yabo.
Alright. uThipos is sitting with two challenges. Ne? Thipos is sitting with the challenge of now having a criminal record, ne? But now you are in a process. You might be found guilty or not. Now there's a challenge that we know could already say on. Now chances that uThipos makabe blacklisted kuba engazugqiba ubhatala college. Do you know that it's going to be another challenge for one?
Indawo enovaleleka kuzo xa ni-blacklisted yozinintsi yohanga bamnyama.
Make sure that you go back to school. Try and get some forms and apply for a bursary. Again. So I've sacrificed a lot of things, which is I don't regret, because that's where my passion is. And then that's where my passion, I think, for the next coming years should be. It's not for me, it's for the young people. It's for the community, for people to realize that the minute we get close to these families, the moment we get close to these young people, showing them that there's a second chance in life, they can really make a change.